Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Sharyl McFarland.
Hey, Cheryl.
Hello. So I'd like to share a story with you guys. So my first encounter, am I talking too low? My first encounter with Wisconsin's penal system, I was 12 years old. So I have two brothers that got incarcerated. And they were incarcerated in the mid-70s. So one of my brothers was 17 years old, and he went to Fox Lake. And my second brother, he was 20 years old, and he got sentenced to Waupun. So family support was that after we got out of church on Sundays, we would go and visit both prisons. And visiting Fox Lake and Waupun was an experience. I can still vividly kind of hear how it sounds when they close the metal gate after you get inside, because it's very loud, and it's like a bang. The banging noise you hear, the one bang when it closes, it echoes and it stays in your ear. And so at 12 years old, for the first time, the first experience is always the worst experience that keeps getting repeated every time you go. So, and that was a point of tension and confusion for me. And I just always kind of felt like, because that noise just like bang, it shocked me to my core. I could feel it from the inside. And I just always felt like one day I wouldn't, come out of there. I wouldn't be able to go back home. But I never shared that with my mother because, it's family supported. Family got to stick together. So that was a quiet, kept secret. We just went on about our business. You tucked it in a quiet place and you just went. So later on, after visiting, let's just fast forward. I'm leading toward this generational, incarceration. So fast forwarding, I have a son named JC. And when he was 17 years old, he was sent to MSDF. So he was sent there right before he got sentenced to the House of Correction. They sent him he went to the county jail, then he went to MSDF. He was there 3 weeks. And out of the 3 weeks he was there, he was in solitary confinement for 2 of those weeks. And so when I went to visit him there, the one time I went to visit him, it was pretty horrible because it reminded me of Fox Lake and Waupun. So when you visit the correctional facility, it's like the first experience is the same experience, but it's still different. So what I mean is, it can be a bad experience. You may see them, you may take this long trip to go see them, and you don't get to see them. Or you see them, and a fight may break out in the visiting rooms. Or you see them, and the visit get cut short. Or you see them, but then a guard is treating you badly, like you committed a crime, and you end up feeling like something different. You just feel a certain way, and it's not a good way. So it was the same way at MSDF when the ferry only visit one time there. And I had a problem with the officer at the desk. So me and my husband, we both went to go see our son, JC, and the lady was rude, the guard was rude. My husband got to see our son, but I didn't get to see our son because I was caught up in some red tape mess she had going on, which I didn't understand. I had my ID. I didn't bring anything that I shouldn't have. They searched me 3 times and I went back and forth. Nothing beeped. You know how when you go through that metal detector and it beeps? There was no beep, but I still was detained and just kind of harassed is how I felt. And I complied with everything she said, but she took her time and she went through the stuff thoroughly until it was like 10 minutes left for the visit. And then it took a while for them to open the door for me to go in. And when I went in, there's this old funky TV, like an old school black and white TV with, I couldn't see him on this monitor because it was fuzzy. I couldn't see him, so I'm talking to this guy that sounded like my son, but I did not see him because I'm like, all they needed to do was put an antenna there and tweak it a little bit, or just put, you know, for rabbit ears, just, I don't know, get a hanger, but I just couldn't see him, and that really bothered me. So that part of the story is that my son went to solitary confinement for 2 weeks. Quickly, I want to say this. And he will not tell me why he was there. It's this negative swag I get from him, you know, tensing all up, what you need to know that for. Because I know him and I know something happened that he doesn't want to tell me. And that's the problem. We need to talk about what's going on. Stop keeping things to ourselves. We cannot help our community if people are keeping everything bottled inside because they feel ashamed, they feel nobody will help them, they feel nobody will listen. I'm listening, there's other people listening, and we really need to get out here and talk to people so we can hold people accountable for what they really are doing. It has to be really bad if he's not telling me, because he tells me everything, but he will not tell me about this. And it makes me upset that I don't know this, because I know it's going to be horrific. And I can't help them if I don't know. And how do we help our people? How do we help our communities if people are ashamed to speak up or no one's pressing it? I want people to be held accountable. Whatever it is, I want somebody to pay for it. I'm just telling you now. We need to shut them down, and we need to use something to do something else with that money. It's a waste of time. Thank you.
Thank you.